Hello my beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to record another video for you guys, and this one is going to be another great video to help you guys heal from past traumas, hurts, and pains so that you can bring more happiness and vitality and energy and health, all the good things into your life. So as you saw from the title, we are talking about healing your relationship with your parents and why this is so important. And I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through this and obviously give you guys some tips at the end that you can use to heal the relationship with your parents if that is something you struggle with, that will help you have a much more harmonious relationship with every single person that you come in contact with, especially with your romantic relationships. First, I want to discuss why it is so important for us to heal or mend the relationship with our parents. And this doesn't mean that you have to have like a terrible relationship with them. This doesn't necessarily mean that you're fighting with them. I'm going to give you guys a few things that you can recognize. I like to call them symptoms of things that may show that you have a relationship with your parents that is not healthy, or something that needs to be forgiven or mended that's going to allow you to have healthier relationships, especially when it comes to those romantic relationships in your life. And the first thing is going to be recognizing if you have a healthy relationship with your significant other. And this is if you are in a connection already. If you've been in connections in the past, notice how that relationship with your significant other was, because more times than not, we mirror those relationships that we had early in our life. So we look at our parents as the example of how a romantic relationship should be. And this isn't really a choice for us. This is something that happens through osmosis. So whoever you were around during the first 7 years of your life, you most likely absorbed the energy and you saw how those people acted in relationship, how they carried themselves, how they talked to each other. And these are things that you then carry into your own romantic relationships, because we don't learn by what people say, we learn from what they do, especially with our parents. So what happens is when we get in a relationship, when we're older, we start to notice the patterns that will come up that show us where it is that we maybe need to mend the relationship with one or both of our parents. And I'll give you an example from my own life. My biggest struggle was with my dad, and this is something that I'm working on mending. And the reason being is when I was a little girl, I felt like I was my daddy's sweetheart because I was born first. And obviously a first child, you're going to get all the love and the attention, but what happened was then my next sister was born when I was about 2 years old, and then my next sister about a year and a half later. And what happened was, as more of my siblings were born, I felt like I had less and less and less love. So how I internalized that was rejection toward, who I was as a person. I felt like, oh, my daddy loved me, and then all of a sudden he doesn't love me, so something must be wrong with me, or I basically internalized that as a rejection. And what happens is if we don't mend those relationships or forgive the past or let go of these hurts and pains, we carry them into our adult life and we carry them into our relationships. And this is very crucial to understand these things if you want to have a healthy relationship. And for those people who don't struggle in relationships, it is most likely because they had a healthier connection with their parents. And if you are someone who struggles, with the relationship with your mom, then the same rule applies. Maybe you felt at some early age that you felt abandoned by one or both of your parents, and these all can lead to the way that we attach in relationships, whether you are anxious, avoidant, or you're a secure attachment. Everything really does stem from those first, years of our life when we learned how to attach ourselves to our parental figures. And I've personally noticed that as a feminine woman, or if you identify as female or the feminine in the relationship, most likely you are going to be most affected by your masculine parent or the male parent or the dad. And the same rule applies when you are a man. If you are a masculine, you are going to connect with the mother or have that stronger bond with the feminine energy. And so you'll find that you'll find that a lot of people have trauma with the opposite sex parent or at least a lot of hurt and pain around that. And that doesn't mean that it's always the case, but that was especially the case in my situation. But the reason why I'm making this video is just to bring to your awareness that most of our issues in adult life, whether it be attachment styles, the way that we, show up in relationships, how we show up in the world, how we feel about ourselves, all comes from those early years in our life. And it's important to go back into your subconscious and allow yourself to feel through those emotions, but also to recognize that it means nothing about you. So just because a parent responded some type of way does not mean that something is inherently wrong with you or that things should have been different. So when you can recognize that just because some other person may have responded some type of way, it doesn't mean anything about you. So that's probably the biggest takeaway when it comes to healing from the past, is recognizing that I am inherently worthy, I was born worthy, and I was born enough, and how other people respond to me or treat me has nothing to do with who I am. And those have been the biggest things and the mantras that I tell myself that have allowed me to slowly but surely remember how worthy I am, how lovable I am, that then of course allows me to move forward in my life. What I feel like has helped me is having conversations with both of my parents about how I felt as a little girl. This doesn't mean that you're going to them and attacking them in any sort of way, but helping them understand and basically just getting it out of your system can then allow you to move forward with your life. And this is something that I am working on in the moment, is talking to especially my dad about the things that I felt as a little girl, but not to make him feel bad, but in order to get it off my chest so that I can remember and tell myself that it has nothing to do with who I am, but has everything to do with the situation and the environment that we were raised in, so that I can create a healthier connection with him again, so that we can have, that father-daughter relationship again without having tension or anything like that. And the same rule applies with my mom, which I obviously had a better connection with, but I still have those conversations with her as well, and that helps both of us grow and learn and heal much quicker, because the energy that flows between us is much more clear and much more clean. And I've just noticed that really has helped me out a lot. So those would probably be the two main things. The first one being, don't identify yourself with the pain of the past. Understand that whatever it is that you went through has nothing to do with who you are on the inside. You are born worthy. You are enough just as you are. And the way that people respond to you, how your parents treated you, how society treats you, says nothing about who you are and everything about what it is that they're going through in the moment. And the second thing is going to be having a conversation with that parent and get it off your chest that will allow you to heal. And this isn't necessarily doing it to help the other person. It's kind of like the same thing with forgiveness. Forgiveness is for yourself, to then release that energy. And what happens is when you forgive that person, you actually release the person on the other side of it as well. So you're freeing up both parties. So it really is a benefit for all people involved. And those will be the main things that I wanted to touch on today in the big topic, and why it's so important to mend those relationships with your parents so that you can enjoy healthy, happy relationships in your adult life. And of course, all of this stuff comes back to believing that you are worthy, that you are enough, and that you were born to enjoy the life that you want to live. And that is all I have for today's video. So like this video, comment down below if you want to see anything else from me. And I am still offering coaching, so if that is something that you're interested in, my information is in the description box below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.